Did you know that the assassination of a single archduke triggered a conflict that embroiled much of the world, reshaping nations and claiming millions of lives? How did an event in a small Balkan city lead to a war that spanned continents, involved dozens of countries, and left a lasting legacy on the 20th century? Welcome to our deep dive into the origins of World War I, a conflict so vast and complex that it is often simply called the Great War. Before we dive in, if you enjoy learning about history and want to uncover more fascinating stories from the past, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Europe in the early 20th century was a volatile mixture of political tensions, strategic alliances, and burgeoning nationalist sentiments. To understand how the assassination of a single archduke could lead to a global war, we need to delve deeper into the complex interplay of factors that created a powder keg ready to explode. The alliance system was central to the fragile balance of power in Europe. The continent was divided primarily into two major alliance blocs. The Triple Alliance consisted of Germany, Austria-Hungary, and Italy. These nations pledged mutual support in the event of an attack by any other great power. On the other side, the Triple Entente included France, Russia, and the United Kingdom, who had formed a series of agreements to counterbalance the Triple Alliance. These alliances were designed for defensive purposes, but they also meant that a conflict involving one nation could rapidly escalate as allies were drawn in to honor their commitments. This interconnectedness made Europe a tinderbox where any spark could ignite a much larger conflagration. Nationalism and ethnic tensions. Nationalism was a potent force in Europe, inspiring both unification and division. In many places, it drove the desire for national self-determination, especially in multi-ethnic empires like Austria-Hungary and the Ottoman Empire. Ethnic groups such as the Serbs, Croats, and Slovenes sought independence from imperial rule, creating significant internal and external pressures. In the Balkans, known as the powder keg of Europe, nationalist fervor was particularly intense. Serbia, a newly independent nation, aspired to unify Slavic peoples in the region under its leadership, clashing with Austria-Hungary's ambitions to maintain its multi-ethnic empire. This rivalry contributed significantly to the region's instability. The late 19th and early 20th centuries were marked by intense imperial competition. The major European powers, Britain, France, Germany, Austria-Hungary, and Russia, competed for colonies and influence worldwide. This competition created deep-seated mistrust and rivalries, particularly between Britain and Germany, whose rapid industrial growth and naval expansion posed a challenge to British naval supremacy. Germany, under Kaiser Wilhelm II, pursued an aggressive foreign policy aimed at securing its place in the Sun. This included building a powerful navy, which threatened British interests and contributed to an arms race. By the early 1900s, Europe was heavily militarized, with nations maintaining large standing armies and developing new military technologies. This arms race created an atmosphere where the idea of resolving disputes through war became increasingly plausible. The crisis of the Balkans. The Balkans had long been a region of geopolitical tension, with the decline of the Ottoman Empire leading to a power vacuum. The Balkan Wars of 1912 to 1913 saw Serbia, Greece, Bulgaria, and Montenegro successfully challenge Ottoman control, but also created friction among the victors, particularly over territorial gains. Serbia's growing power worried Austria-Hungary, which feared the rise of Slavic nationalism within its own borders. In this context, Austria-Hungary viewed Serbia as a significant threat. Serbia's ambition to unite all South Slavs directly threatened the stability of the Habsburg monarchy, which ruled over a diverse population including many Slavs. Austria-Hungary's leaders, therefore, saw curbing Serbian influence as essential to maintaining their empire. On June 28, 1914, Archduke Franz Ferdinand, heir to the Austro-Hungarian throne, and his wife Sophie were assassinated in Sarajevo, Bosnia, by Gavrilo Princip, a member of the Black Hand, a Serbian nationalist group. This event is often seen as the immediate trigger of World War I, but the underlying causes had been building for decades. Franz Ferdinand's assassination provided Austria-Hungary with a pretext to act against Serbia, with the backing of Germany, which offered a blank check of support. Austria-Hungary issued an ultimatum to Serbia with demands so harsh that compliance was unlikely. Serbia's response was conciliatory but did not meet all demands, giving Austria-Hungary the justification it needed to declare war on July 28, 1914. The assassination led to a month-long diplomatic crisis known as the July Crisis. During this period, the major powers of Europe were drawn into a complex web of diplomacy and ultimatums. Austria-Hungary sought to punish Serbia and eliminate it as a threat, confident in German support. Russia, bound by Slavic ties and its alliance with Serbia, began to mobilize its forces. Germany, facing the possibility of a two-front war against Russia and France, implemented the Schlieffen Plan, which called for a rapid strike against France through Belgium, hoping to knock France out of the war quickly before turning to Russia. This plan necessitated violating Belgian neutrality, which brought Britain into the conflict. Once Austria-Hungary declared war on Serbia, the alliance system triggered a chain reaction. Russia, allied with Serbia, began to mobilize against Austria-Hungary, prompting Germany to declare war on Russia on August 1, 1914. France, bound by its alliance with Russia, was drawn into the conflict against Germany and Austria-Hungary. Germany's invasion of Belgium on August 4, 1914, brought Britain into the war due to its treaty obligations to protect Belgian neutrality. Thus, a regional conflict rapidly escalated into a global war, with Japan, the Ottoman Empire, and eventually Italy joining the fray. The war on the Western Front quickly became a stalemate characterized by trench warfare and massive casualties. Significant battles like the Battle of the Marne, the Battle of Verdun, and the Battle of the Somme epitomized the brutal and often futile nature of trench warfare. The Eastern Front saw more fluid movements with key engagements such as the Battle of Tannenberg and the Brusilov Offensive, reflecting the vast, open spaces of Eastern Europe that allowed for greater mobility of armies. Naval warfare played a crucial role, with the British naval blockade of Germany aiming to cut off supplies, and Germany's unrestricted submarine warfare targeting Allied shipping. Key events included the sinking of the Lusitania and the Battle of Jutland. The conflict extended beyond Europe with significant campaigns in Africa, the Middle East, and Asia. Notable events included the Gallipoli Campaign and the Arab Revolt. Initially neutral, the United States entered the war in 1917 due to several factors, including Germany's unrestricted submarine warfare, which targeted American ships, and the Zimmermann Telegram, which proposed a German-Mexican alliance against the U.S. In 1918, Germany's final offensives on the Western Front initially succeeded but were ultimately repelled by Allied counteroffensives bolstered by American troops. An armistice was signed on November 11, 1918, ending the fighting on the Western Front. The Central Powers collapsed, leading to significant political changes in Europe. The Treaty of Versailles, signed in 1919, imposed harsh penalties on Germany, including territorial losses, military restrictions, and heavy reparations. The war's aftermath saw the fall of monarchies in Russia, Germany, Austria-Hungary, and the Ottoman Empire. Social changes included greater roles for women and the spread of socialist ideas, while technological advances in warfare, such as tanks, airplanes, and chemical weapons, had a lasting impact. World War I was a transformative event that reshaped the world. It was driven by complex causes, including nationalism, imperialism, alliances, and political assassinations. The war's legacy continues to influence global politics and society, reminding us of the profound consequences of such a global conflict. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the origins and major events of World War I. If you found this deep dive informative, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more historical explorations. Let us know in the comments which other historical events you'd like us to cover next.